In yet another case of state anomaly, it has come to light that the government has failed to provide the health risk allowance to frontline medical officers in the country. This, despite making strong pledges and provisioning in the budget, is rather disappointing, only acting as a dampener to the morale of the stakeholders at this time of the pandemic. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. The Dewa government fails to provide 50% health risk compensation to frontline medical officers despite provision in the budget and strong commitment. Hundreds of youths leave for Gulf countries amid the festivities. Youths express helplessness at the lack of employment opportunities back home. Sudan's protest movement announced two-day nationwide strike, rejecting international initiatives to return to a power-sharing arrangement with the military. And South Africa win against England, but better run rates send Australia into the semi-finals of the ICC T20 World Cup. Two more matches today. The first announcement of Dewa cabinet was to provide 50% health risk allowance to frontline medical officials in the country within a week since assuming office. The provision was also made in the annual budget. However, frontline workers are yet to receive such allowance from the government. The health workers from Dhaulagiri Hospital in Baglung have not received the health risk allowance for over a year now. The health workers at Dhaulagiri Hospital only received allowance for 3 months during the COVID crisis. The provincial government and the centre were notified about the anomalies. However, the issue has not been addressed. Likewise, over 100 health workers from Palpa Hospital have also not received their special medical health risk allowance. Health workers at Bhaktapur Cancer Hospital are also facing similar issues. It may be recalled that the health risk allowance has already been provisioned in the annual budget. The Dewa administration's first decision was to compensate the frontline health workers with a special allowance. However, 4 months since the formation of the government, nothing substantial has been initiated to provide the health risk allowance. The Health Ministry in the meantime has demanded 450 million rupees in the current fiscal year to cover the health risk allowance. The Finance Ministry in the last fiscal year had piped out just over 550 million rupees under the health risk allowance heading. The Health Ministry had utilized in fact 380 million rupees, while the remaining 160 million rupees had freezed. The government apathy in the distribution of special medical allowance has only dampened the morale of the frontline health workers at this time of the pandemic. Now, hundreds of youths left for Gulf countries yesterday amid the festivities. It was a sorry sight to see the youths leaving for abroad on Bhai Tika Day as well. Hundreds of youths were seen at Trivun International Airport on Bhai Tika Day yesterday as they were leaving for Gulf countries to work as migrant workers. Some of the youths expressed their helplessness for leaving the country amid the Tihar celebrations, as the state has failed to create job opportunities back home. Since the pandemic has subsided, the employment agencies have recruited more human resource this year in comparison to last year. Saudi Arabia, Qatar and UAE are the leading nations in opening job vacancies this year. Prior to Dasai, the Labour Department in Kathmandu were providing job permit to as many as 12 to 1,500 youths on a daily basis. The Department of Labour has predicted that some 300,000 youths will opt for employment opportunities in the Gulf countries this fiscal year. 2 people who were travelling to participate in Deusi Bhailo program died last night after being hit by a bus in Makwanpur along the east-west highway. 4 others have been injured in the incident. The bus was headed for the capital from Rohtahat. According to local police, the deceased have been identified as 20-year-old Suraj Bista from Hetauda and 34-year-old Prem Bahadur Singh Thakuri from Chitwan. 3 of the injured are receiving treatment at Hetauda Hospital. The 4th, who is reportedly seriously injured, has been taken to Chitwan's Bharatpur Hospital. Meanwhile, locals have set ablaze the bus in the protest of the incident. In our public voice segment, we had asked in Sunsari, Kanchanpur and Nepalganj, how was this year's Tihar celebrations? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
खोप लगाएर पनि हामीलाई अलि कम डर लागेको होला रमाइलो भयो
दिदीबहिनीहरुसँग भेट भयो
रमाइलो भयो
यो पाली चाहिँ अब फुपूहरु पनि आउनुभयो मामाहरु पनि सबैजना आउनुहुन्थ्यो त्यसलाई धेरै रमाइलो भयो
यसपल्ट दाजुभाइ दिदीबहिनी एकै ठाउँ भेला भएर तिहार मनाउन पाइयो
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, why have industrialists remained indifferent to special economic zone? Your options are A, crisis of confidence, B, not in one's favor, and C, hesitant to embrace new trend. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.